Behind every crime lies a story waiting to be uncovered, from chilling mysteries to untold truth. This is where the darkness comes to light.
Green buzz lights up the air, faces tense as stories tear, truth and lies like a tango dance. Justice here takes no chance. Gavel strikes, hearts beat fast. Witness takes stand, shadows cast. Whispers loud like wildfire spread. In this game, none's ahead.
Hello, good morning. I almost had the microphone muted. Hopefully, you all can see me. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm back on camera. I'm feeling a lot better. The room where I am, it's a little bit darker. I need to ask Nightbot to turn on the light of the living room, or I can try to do it myself if I can. Good morning. How is everyone doing? It's oh, thank you very much, Paula. Hello, Zizi. Hello, Lois. Hi, Denise. Hi, Toxic. Hi, Paula. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Today it is Friday. How are we feeling after the verdict yesterday? I mean, we had hello, Nightbot. Welcome in. Good morning. Well, I've already said good morning a long time ago, but no worries. Today is going to be a very chilled stream, probably very, very short because courts are. It's Friday. There's not much going on. It's a landlord tenant day thing. And also, I'm still not feeling 100%. And we have a family over that we would like to have dinner with. So we're going to go there to do that tonight. And just to take in dry. But one kitty pie, Denise. Oh, every single time you make me laugh with that. It's absolutely amazing. Also, I'm gonna go to the post office this afternoon, Denise. And also, I need to reach out to all the winners from yesterday to get ball rolling and send it out your prizes if you want to get it. So today we need to find a new case because now I can take this off. Now with Zachary use trial done and dusted, gone with the wind, and he's been sentenced, so that case is locked and loaded and filed away. We need to find something new. I don't think today it's gonna start any new trial. There is absolutely no feed. So I need to start sorting that out. I haven't, because this morning actually I went gardening with Nightbot. So he had a job that he needed to do to get it done. So I went gardening and I did a few videos which I am going to be including in this week's members only kind of like a gardening vlog type thing. So that's so I haven't had the possibility to reach out to everybody, but if you want to send me your information um, in terms of where can I send your prize, please do so. Please reach out to Lois, Paula, and Case One, and then Willow. Um, so yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. So please send me that, and I can send that over. Um, actually, Toxic, you went right there. That is our new case. So I was doing my research on the interwebs and I found that trial. I found it. So I love toxic. So I found that we found that trial on Discord where you can have all your trial informations. You can check it when the trial starts, what the documents, everything on Discord, and that is absolutely the best place to go for it. So you guessed it right. Well, if you you can get a prize, it's absolutely fine. But and I came across this one that starts on Monday. I believe that's with the jury selection starting on Monday, but should start some point next week. And that is going to be our possible new trial, because I was looking at the court docket and I saw that Court TV and the local news station have made filed a petition for to be present and doing it, and I am sure there's going to be a very high intense interest in this case, sadly because of what happened. So yeah, so today I thought we could do a little bit of trial prep to possibly to be our new trial starting Monday, Tuesday, time to start. So that is our going to be our trial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a bit of information, and then we're going to watch a few news reports from several different news stations about this case and everything, and then go from there. um yeah, Lori Vallow, it says on her docket about something about trial starting on Monday, but it's only a 2 day and then it goes to March again. So I don't think it is much, but we'll see. If we have to catch up on Laurie, we will. But I really am interested in this guy, Robert Crimo the third, because in my opinion, it was like kind of sadly like a Darrow Brooks 2.0. We can call him that because he was also a parade that was happening in Highland Park. Um, so that is my interest. There is the other one that is very interested to me, but it's out of California, so time difference would be absolutely a killer for me. We can catch up eventually to that one, like rewatch it when we don't have a trial or anything. You can go on the trial to watch pile type thing, so we can do that. So that is our option. I mean, plans can change, we can go with the flow, but at least we are doing something, and we have doing like a little bit of a prep over the weekend. Yes, I know, I saw that. Toxic, so I think, yeah, it does have a public defender at the moment. uh so we are absolutely like, hopefully if there's a feed, we're going to be following this one. That is absolutely not even a question about it. If there isn't, which I doubt that is not gonna have, I'm sure we're gonna have something else over the weekend as well. I'm gonna be working either a timeline or a chronology time of events on this case, that then I can share with you guys for to have to a bit more information apart with me just talking your ears off. Again, like I said, this might be a very quick short stream, but it's also Friday. You can all enjoy as well your Friday, get warm, get comfortable, and as well. So yes, yes, I that is the latest news out of that trial, but we're gonna cover all that information. I am going to start just reading a bit of information about the background about this trial. Let me get just the thing up and ready and make sure that it's big enough for me to be able to read with my short-sightedness that I have. So give me a second. I'll keep an eye on the chat to just obviously still answer your questions and everything. But let's get started. And I just right. Okay. So hang on 1 second. This happened. Oh, oh yeah, that's gonna definitely go without him on or with him. So on July 4th, 2022, a mass unaliving occurred on Independence Day parade in Highland Park, Illinois, USA. The Pew Pew event occurred at 14 past 10 a.m. CTD, roughly 15 minutes after the parade had started. Good morning, Zizi. Hello, welcome back. Hello, Denise. So where was it? Where was I? Roughly 15 minutes after the parade has started, 7 people were unalived and 48 others were wounded by the bullets and shrapnel all around. Authorities apprehended 21-year-old at the time, Robert Eugene Crimo III, more than 8 hours after the Pew Pew event happened, and charged him with the next day with, at that time, with 7 counts of first-degree unaliving. On July 27, the charges were upgraded to 21 to first-degree unaliving, 48 counts of attempted unaliving, and 48 counts of aggravated battery. So that is the charges that he's facing at the moment. And then like I said, this event happened in downtown Highland Park with the shooter firing a rifle from the rooftop of the Ross Cosmetic building, a local store on the northwest corner of Central Avenue and 2nd Street. Robert had gained access to the elevator position by using an unsecured ladder attached to the building. And then talks about the type of weapon that he used. But the victims, 7 people were unalived, 48 were injured by either the shrapnel or other debris around during the attack. 5 of the victims, all adults, and were passed away at the scene, and 2 died at the hospital. So that is a snippet of the case. So then it goes into a lot of detail. Good morning, Pickles. Hello, how are you doing? How are you feeling better, my friend? I hope you are. So then it gives a bit of a background about him, which high school he went to, the Highland Park High School. Dropped out, but he dropped out before his senior year. He performed under the stage name of Awake the Rapper, I want to say, not the other one. He posted albums on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music. Music videos by him on YouTube were more about this kind of event that he did. So it is Friday. Hello, happy Friday. So it is a very sad case. It's a very high profile case, so I am sure that it's going to be very highly and talked about and covered. Absolutely. So the dad even filed for bankruptcy. The dad himself was in the previous yeah, Pickles, that case, the Didi case, I don't think no one is gonna watch because it's a federal case. You're gonna be watching the reports out of it, but I'm not gonna even go near that one. That one is a big no-no. Luigi is a different story. Didi, yes, no, Didi, Didi. Luigi has a hearing today. From what I hear, that hearing is today at 2:30 Eastern, which apparently, because it's a state run, there is going to be a feed, but I am not going to be home to do that one live, but I will cover eventually that hearing as a record for our channel, because that is a case that we might cover in when it comes around. It depends on how things go, but I am interested in the Luigi. So no, you did not miss it. I will eventually either do a recording of the hearing and then post as a video on the channel. Or are we going to cover just the speed watch the hearing? But I'm not going to be able to cover it live today because I've already have plans for the evening today, and I'm not going to be able to do it. So my apologies for that. So without further ado, we're gonna watch a couple news reports about this upcoming trial of the Robert Crimo III. The first one is basically about him and just talking about the case. So let me start this up, get this sorted, and start.
Person of interest is in custody after an hours-long manhunt ended just a few miles from the scene of yesterday's mass shooting at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. 6 people were killed, dozens more injured in the nation's latest shooting tragedy. Jessica Formoso is live in the newsroom with the latest details. Jess.
Good afternoon, Chris. Any minute now, we will be getting an update from Highland Park Police. But this is what we know about Robert Crimo III. Police are still calling him a person of interest, but they believe he was responsible for yesterday's mass shooting. According to officials, the weapon used was legally obtained. Now, the 22-year-old was taken into custody soon after police publicly identified him. Highland Park Police say Crimo was an aspiring rapper who went by the name Awake the Rapper. He posted dozens of violent videos and songs on social media. In one animated video, since taken down by YouTube, he raps about armies walking in darkness. The animation shows a man pointing a rifle, a body on the ground, and another figure with hands up in the distance. According to the police chief, the gunman opened fire a little after 10 a.m. at the 4th of July parade when it was about 3/4 peers through. He climbed to the roof of a commercial building and used a high-powered rifle to shoot at the crowd. 6 people were killed and at least 30 others were wounded. Among the dead, Nicolas Toledo, who was in his late 70s. Toledo was visiting his family in Illinois from Mexico. According to his granddaughter, he died at the scene. Also killed was Jackie Sondheim, a lifelong congregant and beloved staff member at nearby North Shore Congregation Israel. Meanwhile, Crimo's uncle is speaking out, saying he was a quiet man who liked to make music.
He was like a YouTube rapper that I know, but I never even preview his videos at all.
My granddaughter said to me when she was leaving, she's like, Papa, don't let the bad guys shoot you. And she's 2 years old.
I don't recognize our country anymore.
We still have no motive for the attack, but hope to learn more in the next few minutes when we get an update from police.
Our Dane Placco just spoke.
Hang on. Sorry, that was not supposed to stop playing yet. So, we are just basically, I was just typing for Susie. Welcome in. Hello, good to see you. Very nice to see you here today. We are just doing a bit of a research of our new next case that it's supposed to start between Monday, Tuesday. I think jury selection starts Monday, but then they always take a little bit to do that. But hopefully by Tuesday, maybe Monday afternoon, late afternoon, we're going to have some openings. We'll see how it happens about this new case. Robert, I'm going to struggle saying his name all the time. Robert Crimo III, that is the alleged accused, we have to say, on this case. So after this, the first video we just watched was the news when this first happened back there in 2022, on 4th of July 2022. So 7 months ago, about 7 months ago, he wanted to change his plea because he pled not guilty, and 7 months ago he was, I think, still representing himself like Darrell Brooks. We're calling him Darrell Brooks 2.0, sadly, that because of what he did or allegedly did. So he wanted to change the plea, but then he changed his mind about the changing of the plea. But so the next report we're going to see is exactly that's just about him possibly changing his plea in the hearing. So
a hearing is set for 9 o'clock this morning, and we expect to see a big shift in this case. Lake County prosecutors say Robert Crimo III is expected to change his initial plea of not guilty to guilty. Crimo is scheduled to face trial in February on dozens of charges, including murder and attempted murder. If convicted, he would face a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. Crimo, who is now 23 years old, is accused of killing 7 people and injuring dozens more at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park in 2022. Investigators say he planned the attack for weeks, hiding on a rooftop, then opening fire on the crowd below. This hearing comes about a week before the 2-year anniversary of the mass shooting. Prosecutors did not go into any detail about what kind of effect changing his plea would have on sentencing. Back here live again, that hearing expected to get underway at 9 o'clock this morning.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
In any minute now, and it is what is known as case management. It is one of many routine appearances that will take place over the next several months to ensure that the attorneys are sharing the evidence and to take care of any issues that may arise. It is significant, however, because this is the very first time that Robert Crimo III will appear in court since he was indicted on 117 felony counts for the deaths of 7 people during Highland Park's July 4th parade, which also injured dozens of others. Now, Crimo pled not guilty to the charges and is being held without bail. Over the last 2 months, Crimo has also been named in several civil lawsuits that have already been filed against him, his father, the manufacturer of the rifle that Crimo is alleged to have used during the shooting, and the store where it was purchased from. It is important to note that Crimo's attorneys have not yet requested a trial, and it is not clear whether that will happen today.
Sorry, just playing the same video. So now it's a report of what happened back then at that time.
Tonight at 9, though, with that breaking news out of Highland Park, Illinois tonight, new video shows Robert Crimo III being taken into custody by police in Lake Forest, Illinois, following a short chase.
Police say Crimo is a main person of interest in the killing of 6 people and injuring of dozens more after shooting from a rooftop during the Highland Park 4th of July parade.
Highland Park is about 70 miles south of Milwaukee. Our Sam Kramer is on scene at the parade route this evening with what he's learned from those who witnessed today's chaos.
Yeah, hi there, Aaron and Steph. It is now kind of picked up here at the parade route. Police are still very much actively investigating with temporary lights brought in here along Central Avenue several hours after this happened. We've spoke with so many people that have come down planning to celebrate this holiday with friends, family, neighbors, what's supposed to be a joyous occasion. Instead, so many are left wondering and frankly struggling with the fact that Highland Park now joins a list of cities that have dealt with a mass shooting.
Just as the 4th of July parade was stepping off. I'm standing on that corner. Richard Kaufman remembers thinking somebody threw fireworks onto Central Avenue in downtown Highland Park. Seconds later, he knew those sounds were something else.
He stopped and you can another pause and then another 30 rounds.
Highland Park police say this man, 22-year-old Robert E. Crimo III, was likely positioned on top of a building overlooking the route, using what police described as a high-power rifle. They said the suspect shot and killed at least 6 people, 5 of whom died on scene and injured dozens more, sending the parade crowd running.
Chaos, pandemonium, craziness. Babies were flying through the air. People were breaking their arms and legs trying to get over the damn chairs and diving for cover.
Hours later, proof of the desperation was all over the sidewalks. Bicycles, strollers, and chairs were all scattered along the parade route.
I grabbed her. We laid behind this metal garbage can, whatever.
Then around 6:30, police spotted Crimo's car in nearby Lake Forest and chased after him.
Oh my God, that's the kid with the shoe.
Viewer video shows the moment officers approach his car and take the suspect into custody, the arrest ending an 8-hour manhunt, while the processing and dealing with what happened is only beginning.
Frightening.
It was very frightening. Yeah, it was.
But we're okay.
We're okay, right.
Now, ever since that arrest, we've been kind of hanging out around this area along the parade route again, the intersection of Central Avenue and Green Bay Road. It seems like more and more people are coming down, if not to process, at least to just check on this investigation, perhaps pay some respects. We haven't seen any memorials start up, but it still seems like people want to be down here and really kind of pay attention to what's happening. The bulk of this investigation is a block down. It's second. That's where they believe the shooter was on top of one of those buildings. Now, as for the criminal investigation here, police did bring the suspect Crimo back into Highland Park, where he's expected to be charged in the coming days. We're live tonight in Highland Park, Illinois. Sam Kramer, Fox 6 News.
Have been well, we're gonna now just carry on watching videos about it and discuss it and chat, because apparently now my feed is gonna be inundated with this case, which is not, well, sadly it's a bad thing because it's a very horrible case and very sad that so many people have lost their lives and had their lives damaged because of this kid that decided to go crazy. But just to give us a bit of more information about the case that we are going to be covering here next week, so gives us a bit of more information.
Traumatized. I'm furious that this is happening in communities all across Illinois and America. I'm furious because it does not have to be this way. And yet we as a nation, well, we continue to allow this to happen. While we celebrate the 4th of July just once a year, mass shootings have become our weekly, yes, weekly American tradition. There are going to be people who say that today is not the day, that now is not the time to talk about guns. I'm telling you, there is no better day and no better time than right here and right now. It's the 4th of July, a day for reflection on our freedoms. Our founders carried muskets, not assault weapons. And I don't think a single one of them would have said that you have a constitutional right to an assault weapon with a high-capacity magazine, or that that is more important than the right of the people who attended this parade today to live. Yes, I'm angry. We as a nation deserve better. Let us pray for the injured and those who are still in the hospital tonight. And may the memory of those we lost today be a blessing and a call to action. I want to turn the podium over to our Senator, Tammy Duckworth.
Do you need to bring the microphone? No, I got it. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. This morning, I got up, like most Americans, like the families of the 6 who were killed, to celebrate life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those 6 families no longer have that opportunity. My heart goes out to those families who will never see their loved ones again. And I've made it clear to both Governor Pritzker and Mayor Rodering that I would do whatever I can at the federal level to get them the resources they need, not just to catch the shooter, but to help Highland Park recover from this tragedy. I was just on the phone with Senator Durbin, who is driving here as quickly as he possibly can to come to Highland Park. And he also sends his condolences and his thoughts. And, you know, he and I recently in the Senate last month proved that bipartisan compromise on gun safety is possible. Today, we have seen that we can't just stop there. We have to do more to keep our communities safe. We have to get rid of assault weapons, high capacity magazines, and so many other additional common sense reforms that wide majorities of Americans are crying out for. And so today I will go home and hug my babies a little tighter in gratefulness that they are safe. But I think about the babies and the families who lost moms and dads and grandparents today. And we must do more. I just listened to the sound of that gunfire from one of the videos that was captured. And let me tell you that the last time I heard a weapon with that capacity firing that rapidly on a 4th of July was Iraq. It was not the United States of America. We can and we should and we will do better. So I just want to thank the mayor for everything that she's done. The president gave me a call as well. The White House did. And we also just spoke to the Secretary of Homeland Security, who also have pledged to send all the resources that we need. With that, I'm going to turn this back over to Governor Pritzker.
I can take a couple of questions.
Governor, any update about the suspect so far? Something that you know about the suspect?
Turn it over to Chief.
Yeah, so, so there's not an update right now. So give us a little time to have our officers and detectives and investigators continue their work. We're working diligently and as hard as we can. As you know, these things move very, very quickly. And a lot of information is coming in rapidly. We're trying to sort through what's credible, what's not credible in our pursuit of the person of interest. So nothing new as we stand here, but as soon as we know something new, we will definitely bring it to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to go this way.
Yep.
That's all right. Yep, thank you.
They may have.
Yes, Pickles. So in the UK, you have to be over 18 to buy any kind of stabby devices, but you also have to prove that you are, if you are under, if you look under 25, you have to give your ID to prove the that you are over 18. And now most shops at the moment, they literally have just a cardboard image of the Poki device, and then you take to the till and ask for the person to get it from the back door, and but only if you look under 25, you have to prove your ID. You have to give your ID to prove, and if you don't produce ID, that's it, you're not getting a Poki device. Once me and we wanted to buy a set of the Poki devices for our house, and we couldn't because we did not have IDs with us, and apparently we looked at the time under 25, so they did not sell us the Poki devices. So it is quite restricted, but not enough. But then, like Toxic was saying, they steal from the homes to use in the things. But sadly, UK has a big, massive pandemic on Poki devices things.
This will probably be our final.
So now this is just attorneys that speak about the arraignment of the Highland Park suspect. That happened. There is another video that I really want to watch that is about with the dad of the accused as well, but probably I will see if I can line up for after this video that we are watching.
Press conference, barring until the matter is closed. I will not be discussing the evidence in the case, the investigation, or the specific details of charging decisions at this time. Today, the court formally apprised the offender in this case of the charges he is facing. He is facing 21 counts of first-degree murder. If he is convicted of murdering any two people, he will face natural life without the possibility of parole. Any sentence on the charge of murder is served under Illinois law at 100%. He was also arraigned on counts 22 through 69, which were attempt first-degree murder. If the allegation of great bodily harm is proven, then those 22 through 69 charges, I think that would be 48 charges, would carry up to natural life. 48 individual victims were named in the indictments. In addition to that, 48 counts of aggravated battery with a firearm were also charged, and those are at 6 to 30 years at 85%. I want to thank the entire Lake County State's Attorney's Office for its tireless work in this case so far. I want to continue to thank law enforcement for their work in this case. I want to give a special thank you to the victim specialists and our Chief of Victim Services in the Lake County State's Attorney's Office for their tireless work, their round-the-clock work to shepherd individuals through the legal process. The next court date will be November 1st. I will take a few questions, but I have to emphasize I will not be discussing the evidence in the case, the charging decisions, or the status of the investigation.
Mr. State's Attorney, the fact that they're not requesting a trial at this time?
They did not request a trial. I would refer you to ask them as to why they did that. We certainly want them to have time to look at the evidence.
Negotiations, whether you actually expect this to go to trial?
No comment on that.
Mr. State's Attorney, could you explain how there were reports that he said when he was arrested that he committed that he did something?
No comment. I can't comment on that.
Regularly with U.S. Attorney John Lausch?
Yes.
Any update on whether there might be any federal charges or insight into that?
I do not have an update. I would refer you to him.
Right after the shooting. Any more charges? After the shooting, there was 830 crisis counselors descending on Highland Park. My question is, now we've been having shootings here in Lake County. Why haven't we had any crisis counselors come to Waukegan or North Chicago, Waukegan?
The question that Mr. McLemore asked, for those of you who didn't hear, was about the number of counselors who came to the Highland Park area as opposed to the ongoing the ongoing gun violence that is occurring in Waukegan, North Chicago, Zion, other parts of Lake County. Mr. McLemore, I don't know the number of counselors, but I take your question to be why were there so many counselors sent here? The FBI and the Red Cross, as well as the state's attorney's victim specialists, did respond to the Highland Park scene with respect to violence that we see, unfortunately, in Lake County. Our victim specialists, we have 12 of them. I'm happy to say that those numbers have expanded since I become state's attorney. We have 12 victim specialists, and we respond to every single single situation where we have a victim. The FBI and the Red Cross sent the people that they sent.
Can you just explain the technicality of 21 murder charges?
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the details of it, but basically, 7 people lost their lives. There are 3 alternative ways that we see in very many murder cases. There are 3 alternative ways to charge the offense of murder. That's why there are 21 counts. If you were to go to any murder prior to this proceeding, you would see that very typically there are 3. Sometimes there are 2, but most often there are 3.
Can you explain why that's done for those of us who don't,
Sure. Generally speaking, the 3 types of murder are about what the person's mindset was. Excuse me. Did they intend to cause death? Did they knowingly cause death? Did they intend to cause great bodily harm that eventually led to the death? They knowingly cause bodily harm that led to the death. All of those can lead to murder. It has to do with the mindset. I'm speaking very generally under Illinois law.
Can you say anything about the discovery that you're turning over to?
Can you explain again? It was up to his attorneys to demand the trial. I mean, what's going forward next?
Generally speaking, under Illinois law, the defense may demand a trial, either in writing or orally. The defense did not do that today. That was what happened in the public courtroom. I'm not going to comment beyond that.
But that can happen at a later date.
Of course, yes.
You talked about his mindset. Any indication of a motive?
No, I'm not going to comment on that. And the question about mindset was generally how mindset is dealt with under Illinois law, not his.
Do any of the charges relate to the illegal possession or ownership of a firearm or illegal purchase of a firearm? Any of the charges relate to him doing anything illegal with that gun before he shot it?
The 117 counts that are on public record do not describe a weapons offense.
Can you talk about whether or not the parents could potentially face charges?
I will not comment on that.
Do you think any federal charges will come?
I would refer everyone to the U.S. Attorney's Office as to that question. I don't have any other comment on that.
Have you been in contact with John Lodge?
Yes.
Is the defendant in any way cooperating with the investigation?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Take 2 more questions. Do you have a word for the victims?
Well, certainly our office continues to support them. I was touched. I was moved by the individual effort that our victim specialists have shown in this case and in all cases, even separate from this case. They do an unbelievable work, are trained professionals, they are compassionate, and they reach out to every victim in every single crime, but particularly crimes of violence, not just these cases, but in every single case that we have here in Lake County. And they've done an unbelievable job. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was finished. But no, the video is longer. Apparently, I think someone else is going to tell me number to say hi.
All right. You know, I'm reading that back, right?
Do you remember that they went behind the park to get back at me? I'm sorry, because I went up in front of them.
I don't know why it keeps like going. Do you guys see like every few seconds like a hiccup type thing? That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, Susie, in here sometimes like it's not to make fun, to be a little bit, because it's such heavy subjects that we cover. We sometimes give nicknames to witnesses and people in court, all with due respect and in a good manner, just not to make fun, but to make a little bit easier to hear all the hard evidence, never to make fun of anything. So in the Megan Boswell trial we covered, we had one of the bailiffs, he looked like a bear, so we gave him the bear nickname, and now this one, if is included in the trial, is going to be our bear 2.0 for it. So again, we don't make fun of people. It's just to make sometimes a little bit more bearable all the hard evidence and the hard things that we do here and cover in here. So it just makes a little bit more easier for us. So I thought it was gonna finish, but the video apparently someone else talked, so we're gonna Chicken Lips was different.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I remember that's the day I met you.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
No. I get what you're throwing down, and I'm right there with you. Yeah. Just want to stay. Yep, that's right.
And your last name is check.
Yeah,
Is everyone
I
ready?
am. We're friends of
Oh, we are.
Morning. Yeah, George Gomez, Gomez. George is George.
And can you tell us who exactly you're representing?
We represent Denise and Bob. That is the parents of the defendant.
I know they were in court today. Can you tell us, did they have an opportunity to speak with their son? Did their son speak with them?
Obviously, they didn't have the opportunity to speak with the son today, but my understanding is that the mother had a slight conversation over the phone with the defendant.
Would you disclose the nature of that?
I can't disclose what she said to her son.
Tell us why they wanted to be here today.
They wanted to show their support for their son. Obviously, at the end of the day, Bobby Crimo III is still the son of my clients. They're supportive of as much as possible of what is occurring. I mean, obviously, they're still devastated by what had occurred on July 4th. However, it is their son, and they're trying to support Bobby Crimo III as much as possible.
Do you have any comment on, one of the things that was much discussed ago was that his father signed off on a FOID card, and that enabled him to buy weapons.
You have to be a little bit more specific in regards to that. What do you mean?
What do I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean?
That Bobby Crimo III, that Bobby's father signed off on, allowed his son to get a FOID card, which then allowed his son to purchase weapons legally.
Correct.
There's a lot of concern over the fact that he did this when his son was underage, considering his son had documented past mental health issues. Do you have any comment on that, and whether that was the appropriate thing to do? Is that something he now regrets, and should he face charges for that?
Well, I think the first thing is that Bob Crimo Jr. should not be facing charges for sponsoring the FOID application. At the end of the day, what the father did was to sign the consent for Bobby Crimo Jr. the third to go through the process of acquiring. So he had to do a bunch of background checks. My understanding is that part of that process, one of the police reports that considered him, I forget that term, but they had that in their possession, and they still provided him the approval for that FOID. He was 21 at the time that this had occurred, so I don't believe that there should be any type of criminal charges against the father for that.
But is he concerned that charges could be brought, even though you clearly don't think they should?
No, he isn't concerned. We've spoken to local, state, and federal authorities already. We've cooperated as much as possible. We have gone through various meetings. We are still cooperating with authorities at the moment to see if there's any way that we can cooperate with this. I think at the family, at the end of the day, wants to help the community heal, but also have their privacy remain intact.
Are you a criminal defense attorney? What kind of case do you normally do?
I am. I have a criminal defense firm here in Libertyville. This is the type of cases that I do.
If he got sued in a civil way, your clients, would you also represent them in a civil matter?
That is yet to be disclosed at the moment. I know that we're still actively investigating that, but the family will take that decision when it comes.
What do the parents want to say to the community, especially in light of all the questions that came up afterwards about the son's behavior, things the son did and said, weapons that were taken? A lot of people are saying they should have known better.
In hindsight, they deeply regret what had deeply regret the actions that their son had taken. Obviously, they're still devastated. They're part of the community. They're part of the Highland Park community. They're also heartbroken by by all those that have been affected by this tragic event. So they're here to express, their sorrows want to make sure that everyone is safe, and apologize to any of the families that have been affected by it.
Mr. Gomez, when you say that the Cremo family wants to help the community heal, what could they possibly do?
Again, they're cooperating with all authorities in every aspect. I mean, they're trying to turn stones wherever they can, and we're trying to help them any way possible.
Have they looked up any of the people who were shot or the families of people who were killed to try to talk to them?
No. At this moment, we're trying to be as respectful as possible about that aspect.
Have any families contacted them that wanted to talk to them?
Those I can't disclose that.
George, are you guys open to a plea agreement? Are you in discussions with prosecutors?
Well, we're not being formally charged at this moment, so there's nothing to negotiate at the moment. We don't have too much contact with the attorneys for the son. We don't have, I guess, the power to see what type of negotiation deals they're going to take at the end of the day. So no.
Do the rules allow in-person visits of the parents of the defendant?
In-person visits, you would have to ask the lake.
Sorry about this. Let me try to swap headphones to see if it stops the skipping. Because I got the new headphones in. Because otherwise, I don't know what's happening with all the skipping. Oh, this is much better. I missed the wired headphones like this and not having hopefully it will be fine now. Please. Let it be fine.
County Sheriff, my understanding is that those change from.
It's still skipping, so it might not be me.
We don't have too much contact with the attorneys for the son. We don't have, I guess, the power to see what type of negotiation deals they're going to take at the end of the day. So no.
Do the rules allow in-person visits of the parents of the defendant?
In-person visits, you would have to ask.
Well, yeah, you could be right, Susie. Might be the signal because UK right now is going through another windstorm, like we do every so often, going through a windstorm. But try to refresh the feed, and let me see if any other video does the same thing, or if it is this video, because it's only been happening with this video, right? It isn't. Hang on. Oh, I see now, Toxic, what you're saying about. Let's see this video. Right. I'm going to play another video to see if this video does the same thing as the other one was doing, just to compare. It's still about Cremo. I'm not going to be able to say his name, man.
Continuing our coverage of the tragedy. Anthony Ponte is in the field today, joining us live from the Highland Park Police Department. Anthony.
Natalie and Tia, some disturbing new details about the suspected shooter just announced within the last 10 minutes. Apparently, there were 2 incidents involving this young man back in late 2019. The first incident happened in April, so I guess the first half of that year. They report, the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force reports that this young man attempted suicide back in April of that year. They were visited by police. The family, mental health professionals were involved at that point. And then 5 months later, in September of that year, there was another very disturbing incident involving the suspected shooter. He threatened to kill family members and was discovered with a large cache of knives. At that time, police removed 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from his residence. Now, at the time, there were no formal complaints. Police say that there weren't the proper mechanisms in place to have this young man detained. There was not enough probable cause to make an arrest, but there's a lot of questions this evening as to how he was able to purchase reportedly 5 firearms after those 2 events in 2019. So those are questions that have just come up. Those are questions that are just now being processed. So a lot of questions as to how this suspected shooter was able to obtain 5 firearms, including 2 assault-style weapons, even after these incidents, these mental health incidents and these domestic calls back in 2019, because again, we understand 5 weapons were purchased after those incidents. Also announced within the last 15 minutes, a message from the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force. They are still at this point, more than 24 hours after this rampage at the parade, they are looking for one specific witness who is believed to have seen the suspected shooter throw his gun underneath a red blanket. So I want to toss to a soundbite from Deputy Chief Chris Covelli with a very specific message for a very specific witness who's still believed to be out there.
The community has been absolutely terrific with providing information to law enforcement investigators throughout this. But we're asking the community to, if they're able to dig a little deeper and recall some specific instances from the event, based on video surveillance recovered by our investigators, we're very certain that there was a female witness who saw Crimo drop an object inside of a red blanket behind Ross's at 625 Central Avenue immediately following the shooting. We've not been able to identify this witness yet, but we're asking, if you are the witness and you are hearing this, please call 800, call FBI. Investigators really would like to speak to you about this.
Covelli said there that it was an object. He later clarified that it was the gun itself. And this is described as a high-powered assault rifle resembling an AR-15, although that wasn't the specific model. Okay, so we do, as Tia mentioned a few moments ago, expect charges to be filed by the Cook County State's Attorney sometime in the next hour. We are standing by for that. In the meantime, let's head over to Casey Cronus, who is live at the scene. And Casey, yesterday you were posting some very heartbreaking images of people who had left strollers behind and lawn chairs. What are you seeing out there today?
Well, Anthony, it's been more than 24 hours since those rang out, terrorizing this community, and yet the scene here still very much so remains a snapshot of that chaos. The street is still blocked off Central Avenue between Green Bay Road and St. John's. People's belongings still where they left them yesterday when they were sent running for their lives. Today, flowers have been laid on the sidewalk as the community begins to process what unfolded here. A 12-year-old boy who was getting ready to ride in the parade with his travel baseball team stopped and spoke with us today. He tells us that shots rang out just before their float took the parade route.
We heard that maybe there was something going on, bang, 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 or something like close to town, like over there. And so like our friends were like on a bike and they told us, and then we got off and obviously we got home safely, but it's very scary to think about.
It's devastating for the community and for the people who have lost their lives or lost loved ones. But it also, there have been so many acts of kindness and people coming together, and that's always reassuring, but it's heartbreaking.
And it's unclear when community members will be allowed to come back and retrieve their belongings here. Right now, police are blocking off this intersection, Green Bay and Central, because this is where this evening's media briefing will take place. Media members will be allowed to stay inside, but there won't be traffic coming in or out. So you are urged to avoid this area. Back to you.
Okay, Casey, thank you very much. It's heartbreaking to hear from some of those Highland Park residents. Within the last 15 minutes, we also heard from the mayor of Highland Park, Nancy Rodering, who described today as a day to pause, a day to remember those who left us all too soon. Now, there are a number of prayer vigils from a number of different religious organizations up here in the northern suburbs. So on that note, let's send it over to Dane Placco, who is standing by outside one of those vigils. Dane?
Anthony, we are at Trinity Grace Church on the north end of the a mental health crisis center with dozens of counselors.
Yeah, sorry, we're gonna skip that part. I mean, it is very sad. I'm glad they did that, but I wanted to see the picture of of Robert dressed in woman because that was their thumbnail, but apparently it's not there. Anyway, gonna play the dad not talking. Says that he was talking about how you raised the kid. So, sorry, 1 second. It was not working, not cooperating.
News he does not regret helping his son get a FOID card, and he says he and his family have been getting death threats.
My heart goes out to all of the families that were affected. I even had some people that were injured that I personally know.
Robert Crimo Jr. says the night before the shooting, he spent an hour with his son Bobby and saw no trouble.
I had not an inkling, warning.
But his son was known to police. In April 2019, the same month Robert ran for mayor and lost, Bobby's mother told police in this report he attempted to commit suicide by machete and had a history of attempts. Later that September, another report to police that Bobby made a threat in the household that he was going to kill everyone. Police removing a 24-inch samurai sword and numerous knives that were later returned to Robert, who lived elsewhere.
Making threats to the family, I think it was taken out of context where it's like just a child outburst, whatever he was upset about.
3 months later, Robert sponsored his son's under 21 firearm owner's ID card application, which Illinois State Police approved and renewed when Bobby turned 21.
Do I regret that? Not 3 years ago, signing a consent form to go through the process. That's all it was, just so he can go through the process.
State police now investigating whether Robert bears some criminal responsibility.
There's not a per se violation of law if you vouch for somebody in a FOID card. Having said that, we are continuing to investigate the case.
It won't be easy because he wasn't a minor when he pulled the trigger, the son, and because they'd have to show the dad really was reckless in signing off on this application.
Robert says he knew his son had a handgun, but didn't know he had also purchased 4 other weapons, including 2 high-powered rifles.
Hey, if you. So yeah, I mean I think that is in very hot water as well, though maybe. So I think the other video that we were watching, I think it was with a own feed. So that is just absolutely crazy of a case. I mean, I am really kind of looking forward to finally some justice to be brought up. Oh, apparently I'm watching. There's another news report. All that. Let's watch that. He was planning a second event after what he did.
21-year-old Robert Crimo is charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. More charges are likely. A judge today denied bond for the suspect. Police say he confessed to the shooting in Highland Park and had contemplated another attack in Wisconsin. Our Dane Placco is live in Waukegan, where those details came out after court today. Dane, what else did we learn?
Yes, Ellie, a lot of new information coming out during today's bond hearing here this morning in Waukegan, including the fact that the suspect has been talking to police and did make what they are calling a statement admitting his guilt. 21-year-old Bobby Crimo III appeared at today's hearing via Zoom. He's being held here at the Lake County Detention Center. Lake County judge ordered he be held without bond on 7 counts of first-degree murder, with the expectation that as many as 40 or 50 more counts may be coming. Those would be attempted murder counts for the people who were shot but did not die. Now, after the hearing, Lake County State's Attorney Eric Reinhart talked about those charges.
The judge ruled that Robert Crimo III would be held without bond and that there was probable cause to hold him at this time for 7 counts of first-degree murder. We have filed those counts alleging the intentional killing of 7 individuals. Based on the information that the investigation has produced so far, the judge found that the evidence was at such a level that he could be held without bond. Also, because the fact that it is a mandatory life sentence.
Among the new details revealed in court today, Crimo had a fascination with the numbers 7 and 4, apparently related to the music he listened to. Investigators believe that's why the attack was planned for the 4th of July, or 7/4 on the calendar. Now, they also revealed that there was very nearly a second massacre in the area of Madison, Wisconsin. That's where Crimo drove after the attack in Highland Park. And investigators say he stumbled upon another 4th of July celebration and thought about killing even more people.
It appears when he drove to Madison, he was driving around. However, he did see a celebration that was occurring in Madison, and he seriously contemplated using the firearm he had in his vehicle to commit another shooting in Madison.
Do you know how much ammunition he had at that point?
Approximately 60 rounds.
At that point, he did.
Yes.
60.
Yes.
What about his motivation for the attack in the first place?
His motivation isn't necessarily clear. I don't want to go specifically into what he told investigators. However, he had some type of affinity towards the number 4 and 7, and inverse was 7/4.
Do you believe his plan was to go to Highland Park and then to Madison all along? Or?
We don't have information to suggest he planned on driving to Madison initially to commit another attack. We do believe that he was driving around following the first attack and saw the celebration.
So there could have been a second massacre that was averted, thank God. They also said that they found his cell phone. He apparently threw his cell phone out of the car somewhere near Middleton, Wisconsin. That's just outside of Madison. As for his attorney, he has been appointed a public defender, but there was a little bit of confusion early on because esteemed criminal defense attorney Tom Durkin in Chicago filed for an appearance in this case and did in fact pop up on the Zoom bond hearing this morning. However, Durkin said he discovered that he has a conflict of interest and cannot represent Crimo. So he is going to be getting a public defender. Now, investigators did say, as well as we mentioned at the top of this show, that Crimo has been talking to them. They didn't want to go into a lot of detail about what he has been saying, but they did say that he made a voluntary, this is quote, made a voluntary statement of confession. So he's not trying to say that he did not commit these crimes. Sally, back to you.
Dane, you mentioned this bond hearing happened over Zoom. Did the suspect say anything? Could you tell anything about his demeanor?
Yeah, he was just one of several little boxes in the Zoom calls, and he only spoke once, and that was when he was asked by the judge whether, in fact, he had an attorney. He said he did not. He was unaware that Durkin was at one point going to be representing him. His demeanor during the hearing he didn't show much emotion, frankly, at all. In fact, when they were reading the proffer, going through the details of this horrific crime, he looked to the right. His eyes were constantly to the right side, his right side, the left side of the screen. He never looked into the camera or showed any emotion or raised his head at all during that period of time.
All right, Jane Placco live for us with the latest.
I could hear this guy talk for the rest of the day. His voice, I don't know, it just soothes me. It's just, I really hope he's a witness in the case, because it is absolutely, I don't know. Yeah, I know, it's just crazy. Oh my days, I lost it. I had the last video that we were gonna watch. It was a video released just a few hours ago about a decision from the judge. Oh, here, I found it. So that will be the last video that we're gonna watch. It's the judge allows victims, witnesses to attend the Robert Crimo third trial, as well as from the same network that he definitely has something going on, because it is absolutely, yeah, this case is he is like not really disrespecting. He has something wrong, and I mean the parent, I don't know, probably will come out at trial about his mental health and the state of it. But again, parents by him or helping him getting a pew-pew was not probably the best idea. I wonder if they I wonder if they're gonna cover the tattoos with makeup like they wanted to do with Wade Wilson on the trial. So yeah, so I was like, definitely. Well, be back for me, Pickles, or for Toxic, or for somebody else? So we're gonna watch this last video. There's about a decision literally a few hours ago that it came out. The trial is expected to start early next week, either Monday or Tuesday. For this case, with the jury selection first, and then we're gonna go probably in the trial in itself. I am sure it's gonna have media coverage in this trial, because it's third is Robert Eugene Cremo III, not Junior. So I'm sure that this trial is going to have a lot of media attention. I am almost 100% sure, because Court TV has already filed, but we all know how Court TV sometimes is with trials. But hopefully this news station, that it's a local news station, will also have the feed, and then we can have it this thing. So just gonna watch the video. Nightbot is still entertained with all the new gadgets for the stream. I think he's trying to set it up, so it's so very very kind. So yeah, there's a high possibility. I don't want to say 100% possibility that LNC, Court TV, or we're gonna have a feed, but there is a very high possibility that definitely is gonna be live streamed. I want to do some research. I think tomorrow I'm gonna split my time between Lucy Leppy research and this guy, because of the awake tattoo that he has above his eye. I want to do some investigation about it as well, the other one underneath his eye, just to know, and just we could talk about that. They gave us a bit of an insight of how long the trial is going to be, around 4 weeks long. So that is absolutely fine. It's a bit more longer than I like to cover a trial for, but it's a trial I want to cover. So it's hopefully less. We'll see what happens. We'll hear for the road, and if we have to catch up on another trial, speed watching or something else, we'll see. But to be fair, I do expect it to be very long, because he has 48 victims to testify, which at least now it's 48 witnesses, and then all the DME, the lead investigators, all the FBI agents that have been involved in this. So I can imagine that the witness list for the prosecution, at least, it is very heavy. There is a big, massive team on the prosecution as well on this case that is geared up, and we'll see. And I'll make a list of all of the information, and maybe on Monday we can go a little bit more in depth in terms of like who the attorneys are, how many attorneys, and all this about the tattoos and everything. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a snippet of the case that we are going to be following. If anything changes for some reason, that in terms that there is no feed or anything available, we'll roll with the punches. We'll find something. I am sure that there is going to be something to watch. But like I said, and like I promised, it's going to be a very short stream. Nightbot is very looking forward to set up for the stream, the new stuff for the stream, and I'm not gonna lie, I am too looking forward to do that. So we're gonna probably do that. I'm gonna take a picture of the before and a picture of the after, so I can show you guys how now the setup it's gonna look for it. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. I am gonna wish you all also, before I do say it, before we do go, in terms of the Luigi Mangione hearing, either I'm gonna record it tonight when I get back, if the hearing it's not live anymore, or I might go live just to kind of record it, and then you guys can see it. It depends on how long and when I get home, but we'll see. If not record today, I might just record it tomorrow, and then you guys can leave your comments in the video or in the live stream or whatever. But I am gonna wish you all a nice, awesome, great Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys very, very shortly. Thank you very much for all your support. It is a bit weird having a short stream, but sometimes life. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a great weekend. Have a great Friday. And I'll see you very, very soon.